Great. Welcome to the April 15th follow-up to help organize GitOpsCon with the GitOps working group and interested parties. Well, that was it. I'm going to try to open up that doc. And can I just ask a housekeeping question for all of you? Would it be valuable in any way to move anything from this doc to the public meeting notes doc, or is that just not helpful at this point?
I thought this was the same.
Well, no, well, we can link it, right? I think we can.
Yeah, just link it up.
I think we can link it. Yeah, there's no, I don't think there's anything that we don't want. Aubrey, I don't know if you have anything on there. I don't think.
No, I think this is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll go ahead and link it then. Okay, great. Well, does anyone want to? Since we don't really have an agenda on this, does anyone want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll start only because I've had some discussions offline with Aubrey and some other. So in terms of the open forum social event, so we've gotten over 1,000 registrants from what I understand, Aubrey, or over 1,000 for GitOpsCon.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and I was Tamo's on, great. I was actually talking to the creator of Rambly and asked him, hey, how does this scale? Because I actually got in contact with him.
Oh.
And he said that he's had a max, I think, was 100 people.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So he said if he had more time, he could have scaled it for us. But like, obviously there's no like paid tier or anything, right? This is just a guy doing it on the side. So I think there is some attrition from what I understand, from what Aubrey's having conversations with the CNCF folks. So there might be people coming in and out and not even coming to the social event, but we do need to, one, consider what we need to do if we hit capacity, right? If we either, Tamo actually said we can just break them off into individual Rambly, I guess, spaces for different conversations. Like we can do it that way. Hopin also has a feature that's kind of like an open forum, like people can create, like individuals can create rooms and can have like a conversation. People could hop in and out. I guess. Oh,
well, we could do like some dedicated spaces, right? Like open spaces, that, like DevOps days kind of thing.
I was actually keen on the idea of having like an open forum, like everyone who's attended, but maybe that's just a pipe dream at this point.
I mean, that's 1,000 people in an open forum. That doesn't sound very open.
Yeah, I mean, it's very open. So I kind of wanted to, I don't know, hash out the idea with you guys of if, should we have an alternative plan? Should we do something else other than Rambly? Or should we have like an alternative plan? Or should we just plan on using Rambly and kind of just create accounts as we need them, right? As people. So I'll open it up to kind of see what ideas you guys have. I'm glad.
Is the 100 people current perceived cap per Rambly space or in the Rambly platform overall? Like, do we know for a fact that if we spin up more?
Yeah, I feel like we had more than 100 people in Rambly at KubeCon last time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's per instance. So from what I understand, because like KubeCon is like you said, like KubeCon, there's a ton of people and like there was like spaces everywhere. So the theoretical is 100 per space, from what I understood from the conversation I had.
Mm-hmm. So I'm jumping in midstream, but I recall when we first were brainstorming that we were brainstorming the possibility that there would be different platforms, like maybe Animal Crossing would be one and Rambly would be one. And so I thought that there was a possibility that people had different choices, so not everybody was pushed to just one. So that would help separate out, but I don't know. Those are just some ideas, but I don't know if those took off, having a mixture of things where I think people were excited about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's like you kind of segment off a big group. You kind of segment off a big group of tech people by doing that.
Well, no, I was also thinking that I would have been fine with that. It's just I kind of took ownership of this thing, and Rambly was kind of just something everyone got consensus on. I'm still pretty open to the idea if someone wants to set up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Like-
I would have to figure that out.
Like if someone has the bandwidth, because I don't have the bandwidth to do like 4 or 5 things. I can just like, try to do one, try to corral the cats there.
I think there was also concern initially about having to send everybody to a different platform. We might lose attendees for the social event too. So if we have multiple platforms, that might amplify the issue.
It could be a nice thing though. People kind of, you have like a Final Fantasy group, you have an Animal Crossing group, people just kind of hanging out, rambling. So
if
people, because they might think, oh, this is something I already play. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna like meet KubeCon people, but like in this context, and
I like slant.
I like that.
I like the informal aspect of it because it's kind of like a hangout versus a kind of like an official event thing. Like so I do like the idea of having different things for different people, making it feel more social than the kind of like official sort of thing, right? So I do like that aspect of it. It's just I don't know the best way moving forward, I guess, is my my challenge, right? Is like, okay, so like what do we now that CFP is closed tomorrow, which is I guess something else we need to discuss, but now that it's closing, we actually do need to like start pouring some concrete, right? I only liked Rambly because you could just do it ad hoc. So
because also I think the social events at the end of the day, right? So at some point people are all going to dissipate anyway. So I don't know if like you need to keep them contained, like when they're all going to either just leave, or it's kind of like a social birds of a feather kind of thing where, and you could certainly have that too if people want to nerd out for another 90 minutes or whatever, just like go I've been to this in-person birds of a feather, and sometimes it's like this is how they want to spend their social hour. They're delighted that they're with 17 other people like going super deep on something. So those can be options too, and people do kind of scatter at the end. And
yeah, in fact, that would be my only concern. Seeing that we had over 500 registrants, that sounds like a lot of people, but I don't know how many of those people will actually will join in the end, given that it's a free event, and you know what I mean, because that changes the numbers too. And of those people, how many will want to do something afterwards? So I like the idea, Tomo, personally, of having like multiple parties. It's like, this party kind of, I don't know, it's not my speed. Let's go to the next, let's pop over to the next one. But if there's only like 12 people, I wonder if we have like 3 or 4 platforms, if that might not be kind of like overkill, that's all.
So I did get some feedback from the team who does OpenShift Commons, another co-located event, that if 30% of the people who register show up, that's amazing. And not 30% show up for the whole event, but they're going to be popping in and out as they see sessions that are most interesting to them.
Yeah, that's definitely been my experience. And then the social thing is like even less than that.
Yeah, so I think 100 is probably okay to plan for, but we could be potentially leaving somebody out.
And if push comes to shove, we'll just spin up another Rambly space, like here's the overflow space over here, and like Christian will be in one, I'll be in another, and there you go.
And if it's like a page, then you can kind of almost edit it in real time. So like if we find, okay, we've got 1,200 people registered, so now we might expect maybe 200 in the social events, then maybe we can say, okay, let's add an Animal Crossing. And if someone's willing to own that, they're the kind of the owner of like, okay, this is how we're going to meet there. Or
I would just need to figure out how to do that.
Totally. Well, if it gets to that point, I will be the one to do that. I'm happy to.
Okay, cool. I'll join you in that venture, though.
Yes. You'll have to be my friend, become my friend.
That's right.
Yeah, we got to share codes and stuff.
Not required, but that's my personal requirement of you.
Yeah.
And it's something we can also reach out to the community as well. Like if we do see like, wow, we're at 1,500, and like maybe we should consider like a Final Fantasy one. Like none of us have to learn that. We can be like, hey, we're thinking about a Final Fantasy room. Does anybody want to do it? I'm sure you'll have somebody.
See, so like, I definitely joined that one.
Okay, so you're already there.
Oh, you would?
I'm
okay,
already there.
Cool.
So yeah, I want to see your avatar.
Good man.
So I don't think anybody should feel like they should learn something new. It would be only if people are already in it, then they can kind of be the person.
I would just need to learn how to like host that setup is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
because you feel like it would have to be framed within the site?
No. I just like if you're hosting a Animal Crossing thing, like I have a Switch, I need to figure out how to share out that island and all this other mechanics and logistics type stuff.
Yeah, just just doing whatever you need to do to host for each platform, whatever it is. Yeah.
And we can pull in like the deserted island folks who have now.
Yeah, like I can reach out to them. I know those folks pretty well. Yeah.
They can even own it.
Okay, so this doesn't sound like as big of an issue as I originally thought. So because at first I heard like, you know, over 1,000. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But it
they're not all gonna be there. Yeah.
But Tamo looks very relaxed. So it's so I mean, and you've done it before, right? So like if you've done it before and you've hosted these things, you don't think it's a big deal, then I'm certainly okay, cool.
It's my job to look relaxed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Move my mask up.
But
like as Aubrey said, I've run events where, you know, the registration number, the actual number, and then the social number toward the end of the event, you know, it's definitely changes around. Now if you say Kelsey Hightower is going to be on an island or something, you know,
right, that's story.
You're gonna crash servers there.
It might be worth it.
So just, oh, cute kitty, by the way. So just quick question about the page, the update page. Excuse me, the single page you were talking about. What is that actually? Where would that be? Do we have a page that we can update live if need be?
Aubrey, is there something on Hopin that we can
update
like as needed? Like announcements or something like that?
Yeah, there's a schedule on the like reception area that we can easily update.
Okay.
And then it sounds like we'll be giving people links to go to some other platform. So I also think at the end of the keynote, we'll just have a static slide up that should have, here's the 2 areas to go. We can throw those 2 links in chat as well. So they're live links for people to just click on and go. But yes, the platform I think will accommodate that easily.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do it through the Twitter feed as well if we want to try and get people engaged that might just be watching from social at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think that's it in terms of that. I guess we'll just do it ad hoc and we'll just see who shows up. Doesn't sound like a big deal. Okay.
I have an agenda item to ask about, but do we have a list of agenda items we want to cover first?
So I think so. The CFP is closed tomorrow, but we can talk about that at the CFP meeting.
I have a request on that as it aligns to the schedule. So that's one agenda item for me. And then I was also hoping we could start scheduling run-throughs.
So so I guess a few things in terms of I guess we could talk about this since Aubrey's on this call about getting the process of getting the CFPs we chose to I guess to hop in, right? Is that something you know, how are we going to provide that I guess to Aubrey? I don't know. I guess when we make the selection, how do we make those selections visible?
So
who needs to be?
One thing that was highly recommended to us was as soon as we have the agenda, post it, because people will be coming in and out of the conference for the sessions that are most, you know, interesting to them.
Right.
So if I think I started putting in this meeting notes doc the requirements for a speaker, but if you guys could start filtering through at least the session titles, the speaker name, and the company that they're coming through, I'll put that in as soon as you guys are ready. We can always shuffle the spots around, I feel like, you know, if we need to, depending on speaker schedules. But I do think we need to have that posted as soon as you guys have had the chance to sort through talks and figure out what's going to be live.
Yeah.
So Christian, I can be super flexible, whatever is easiest for you guys to piece together. There was a second document that was specific to the CFPs though. Do you want me to put the requirements for for what I need in terms of abstract and length and all that in that document instead of this one.
Which document are you referring to?
So
the one that I created. I think that would be a place to put that.
Okay.
Where
The
there's
CFP review doc.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Will you throw that in chat for me? I'm
Yep.
not sure I have it up.
Does somebody have it handy?
I got it.
Okay.
And then
Who's
the other thing,
go ahead.
The other thing I was going to ask is, we talked about giving people the option of doing live or recorded. So in regards to trying to figure out scheduling and run throughs on the, week that people are going to have to do it, if we can also push, or are we going to just hold them to whatever they put into the CFP that they want to record the session or have it live? That would be another decision. I think that would be helpful to make early with the speakers.
We asked recorded or live on the CFP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
just go by that.
Was the question, do we want to hold people to that in case they wanted to change it? Was that the question? I'm just making sure I understood the question.
Yeah. Should we hold people to what they put in their CFP request, unless they're the birds of a feather, or I'm sorry, whatever we call them, the lightning rounds, the 5-minute talks. I know we said we would require those to be recorded. So that'll just need to be communicated out to those guys, if that's still the plan.
Why wouldn't we hold them up to that? What's the point of asking if we don't insist on them keeping their word?
We can do it either way. It's timeline in my mind. We're going to be really tight.
Does it overly complicate logistics if we have kind of like this varied mix of some people recorded, some people live? Does that introduce?
it definitely increases logistics, right? Yeah.
So I wonder if for our benefit we want to say, hey, you know what? Because we didn't ask, we asked for preference, not hard choice.
I mean, Aubrey, do you think we can accommodate both easily enough? I just got into Hopin this week, by the way.
Yeah. I think for the 30-minute sessions, we can accommodate both. Okay. I think for the lightning round, we need to say this, since it's 5 minutes, a recording's required.
Just recorded,
yeah. It's just going to be too much turnover,
Yeah,
right.
no, I think for the lightning talks, we said it had,
if
I'm not mistaken, it had to be recorded. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So,
good.
But for the 30 minutes, I think we gave them a, like, what's your preference? Like Leo said. Leo, do we have, do you have an insight on, have we gotten more recorded or more live got people?
We have 78% of respondents want 30 to 45-minute talks, 21% 5-minute talks, and 52% have no preference to live versus recorded. 17% prefer live, 30% prefer recorded. So over 80%.
Okay.
No preference or recorded. So I would actually kind of like be inclined to say, hey, you know what? If just one guy that says I want to do live, like just record it and
I was going to say, if we, unless there's something else that's canonical, as mentioned in the CFP, it says literally live/recorded preference, prefer to live talk, prefer recorded talk, or no preference. So I feel like I agree with what the sentiments that's been said, that we should do what we said we would do, but is there something else we said we would do somewhere? I just wouldn't want to exclude someone if we said, hey, listen, like we asked you if you prefer to give a live presentation, you said yes, but sorry, we just decided we only want to.
Well, if that person gets chosen, we should at least extend that to them, right? Because since the lightning ones are going to be recorded, we're just going to play them, right? And we have like a buffer time between the 30-minute talks. The logistics won't be too bad, right? Like if there's like 1 or 2 people that submitted recordings. So we should at least give them that, benefit and try to kind of push them towards live.
Aubrey, we could kind of book it out to where it's recorded live, so that we can make that transition nice and easily.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
And just for everybody's background, my understanding of how recorded works is we just have to create a YouTube playlist and we play basically from the playlist to the Hopin platform of all the recorded sessions.
Easy enough.
I hope so.
Well, that's Chris's MO right there.
Yeah,
So,
I can put
he does
I
that
can
all
put
day,
a
every day.
playlist on OpenShift. I can put a playlist on Red Hat. I can put a playlist on Kubernetes. I mean, Jesus, I got access to so many YouTubes now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going a little off script here, so if we need to turn back, let me know. I think Scott, Sonia had passed along the question to you. Do we have a YouTube channel for the GitOps working group?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So maybe we could do a hidden playlist there. And then we will have the option to record everything live on the Hopin platform. We could put all the sessions on from the actual event to the GitOps working group as well.
Scott, do you need extra admins on that page or anything? Like I said, I'm admin of lots of stuff on YouTube these days.
Yeah, you're a master in that area. I would say it's
we've got a master, but okay.
another Jedi, another YouTube Jedi.
There we go. That's better.
The answer is yes. Yeah, I was added to that by CNCF initially when we had this. We're just really starting to set up with these things, and the idea was that we actually haven't quite set up a communications team yet, but the idea is that we would. But I think like we should do that for this for sure. I'll add you, and if there's someone else that wants to be added, we'll do it.
I'll do most things to help.
Cool.
And I think this is a good segue into the question that I had, because communication, I think somebody needs to own kind of like writing up the template that we're going to send out to people that didn't get their CFP accepted. We need also a template for the people that did get the CFP accepted. So kind of like writing those up and then scheduling them going out. I think it's also something that we probably want to define in terms of ownership and deadline.
I can write those 2 emails up since Sonia's out this week. I might ask her to push it through the same platform that she pushed the CFP reminder through, but that'll be much faster than anything I've got.
And the accepted template should have kind of like specific dates as to when materials are to be expected. So
yeah,
do we have those set in stone already? There is an agenda that is a proposed agenda. Christian had some comments last time as to condensing it. So maybe we can reach kind of like a point of agreement so that we have that set in stone. Do you guys think it's time, or do we still have unknowns that we need to incorporate into that decision?
Well, since the CFP closes tomorrow, we should at least have semi-concrete, wet concrete. I don't know what you'd call it.
There you go. Wet concrete. I love it.
Wet concrete times.
Still draw on it.
Yeah, you can still draw on it, but it's starting to harden up. So so here in the dates. So if you're looking at the doc, I'm looking at the CFP review doc. Because I'm switching back and forth here. We have CFP close April 16th, which is tomorrow. Review deadline the 21st. So that's our, we need to make our decision by the 21st here. And then we have event agenda announcement and communication to presenters the 23rd. So that gives us like a very, very tight window. And I guess that weekend until April. So April 30th is the submit time. So that gives us very little time.
It doesn't really give us time to do a run through either. If they're doing a recording, are they still going to want to run through because they're going to wait on the back end for chat, or no?
Well, for the when also the recording, like if we want to make one long video, that doesn't give us a lot of time to make one long video with the breaks in between.
Yeah.
For the
But is that? But then we talk about making a playlist as opposed to an edited long video.
Oh yeah, well we can do that. Yeah. So that saves some time. You're right.
There just wouldn't be a transition between presenters unless we have an MC who wants to actually just be the voice. You want to do that, Chris?
Yeah, I'm doing the whole
We could do that.
hosting bit. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, maybe that isn't a big deal.
So yeah, maybe because we can just quickly review it and make sure. So we we need to also give them time maybe. So maybe we should push the. I don't know. That doesn't give a lot of time for the users, unfortunately. Like if we send it out like the 23rd and tell them, hey, by the 28th you need to have your video uploaded.
Ooh, rough.
That's like 3 days. So but I mean it is what it is. I don't know if we want to do that or where that pain point is, right? Like do we do we want to give them a short time or do we want to give them a longer time, but the pain's on us to try to like get it all together and have a good event that Monday.
I think the bigger risk is giving us less time and then having to request redo of a video. I think that's the biggest risk.
I agree with you. I ran this a very similar event for Mesosphere Day 2 IQ, and I'm not sure how y'all are collecting all of the stuff that y'all are asking for, but but to your point, you're going to ask them for like their Twitter handles and their headshot and their bio and all of those things, and you're going to get half-assed responses. I mean, just be honest, right? They're not going to fill out everything, so you're going to have to go back. So my opinion on this would be, and I'm open to suggestions, and I know I'm new to the group on this, so take it with a grain of salt, but my suggestion would be give them a hard deadline of a week and build in a buffer on the back end for you to have to come back and ask for that again,
Brilliant. Yeah, we definitely need to do that.
And the way, how are y'all collecting this information? Like, are you just saying like, hey, reply to this email, or are you building out a form to collect it all and just so that we can review it all on the back end?
When you say the form for the CFP form, are you talking
about so like
the submission?
After the submission. So after you've notified them, right, and you're saying, hey, we've accepted your talk. Here are all the deadlines. Here's everything that you need. How are you asking them to turn that information back into you? All of that content.
Where does it all land? Yeah.
Correct. Right.
I like the idea of a Google form.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't think
we haven't hard concrete that. I think the idea out there was we're going to create a drive or a folder, right? In some drive, right? Whether it's Dropbox, whether it's Google Drive, whatever, right? And share the specific folder for the specific user out, right? So like Chris Short has a Chris Short folder in that drive, and he has access to right to it, and he'll upload all his materials, headshot, information, video.
Keep in mind, you have to have a Google account to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yep. No, that's which is why I'm not like it could be Dropbox, it could be whatever.
Yeah, we need to think open here, not just easy.
I just think we need to make it as easy. I think Aubrey, you were saying this. We need to make it as easy as possible for them and be very transparent about what it is and when we need it, and make it universal across the board. So the way we collected it at Day 2 IQ is we built a Google form and just built in everything we needed that, and then it all dumped into the appropriate folders so that people could see it. But I want to make sure that we're not making it harder on ourselves than we have to.
Well, easier
uploading of the recording as well. Does Google Forms
everything
like that big file upload and
or just an or a link to it if they host it on YouTube or something like that. Just provide everything, a very clear deadline, everything very specific of what you need. And I mean, we could do it the way I did it the second time at Day 2 IQ was I forced the form to not allow you to submit it until everything was submitted. I mean, that's a little aggressive, but on a tight deadline, it makes
sense.
Yeah, like, hey, I don't have a whole lot of churn time on this. We just need it when we need it, and we need you to commit to it. So,
is it too much to ask of them to actually, just provide the video, whatever way they see fit? If they have Google Drive and want to share that, if they use, whatever storage solution, because it is IT people,
right?
They might be able to share it somewhere.
maybe with bike shedding here, if we discuss how exactly people submit a video, I would say just send me a link and I'll download it, whatever you choose from.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't particular on it had to be, you know, uploaded this some kind of way, right? We just needed it, and we needed it when you submitted all the other information. So link.
Yeah, my concern with so much freedom is you're gonna have to be jumping through a bunch of hoops, maybe, you know, like somebody forgot to give you access, somebody has a pretty crappy link and they're giving you a download link from their home computer and you're downloading at 10 kilobits per second. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're gonna run into.
Right.
So,
I think we have a total of maybe 10 talks, so this should all not be such a big problem, right?
Yeah.
Not like we're accepting hundreds of talks.
No, we're not. 10. There's a limited.
I'm sure that with here. 10 talks, let's say 10 talks, 9 people will send you whatever Dropbox, Drive, WeTransfer, whatever link that just works. And the one guy, you give a bit of personal support, and that's it.
Yeah, and some of these are keynote talks from people that we know, so they are going to be able to do that, and I'm sure they are more than capable of doing that. Most of the people that submit talks for these kind of things.
Well, we hope.
I like the idea of a form. Like if we to
fill in the blanks.
Well, I have one question for Aubrey. Can we do it on Hopin? And if not, then I am very keen on the Google form. If I didn't even think about that. Just sending them a link to the Google form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have not seen a form request, if you will, through Hopin. The way it looks like the way Hopin first is you register for the event and then I tag that person as a speaker. So I think the Google form is the way to go.
Okay. So then my next.
And I'm happy to help draft that.
Yeah. So that was my next question. I'm like, whose lap is that going to fall under? Because I think I'm keen on that, and since the short timeline, we should just go with that. I think that's a great idea. Thank you for bringing that up, Sarah. That's
no problem. And Aubrey, if it's helpful, I could reach back out to my old Day 2 IQ peers and see if they have that form. If you just want me to get a copy for you, so you could iterate on it versus
that'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Okay, cool. Let me see what I can do. Robert,
that'd be great.
Do you work at Day 2 IQ? Because your background looks like a Day 2 IQ Zoom. Is it Robith? No? Okay, my bad. Okay, never mind. I was going to say maybe you could just reach out to them for me since you're there. But let me see who I can get on the line for you, Aubrey.
All right. I think I can draft that up pretty quickly. I also have the requirements, or the requests, I should say, from the platform on what they ask for of a speaker. I already stalked Cornelia and CMOC and pulled their profile pictures and their, LinkedIn profiles, et cetera, from there. So we know what we need.
So I have to drop in 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. And so I think for the and I think this might not be a big problem. I think Shlomo brought it up. I think we only have like 10. Everyone's getting in now, right? At this point, right? And so it'll if we have to handhold like 1 or 2 people, that's fine.
So a quick follow-on question for speakers, regardless of if they're doing a live presentation or a recording, do we want them to still have access to do Q&A management on the back end? So do we promote them, if you will, to speaker, even if we're playing a recording, so that they can be answering questions live in the chat?
I think we should do that. That's more of a live stream vibe that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we using Slack, or is that Hopin as well, Aubrey?
Hopin has that capability as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I would like to see a requirement that the speaker is available for chat-based Q&A during the playback of his or her video.
Okay.
And the people who are not ready to do that, in my opinion, should go to the very bottom of the stack.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people will just drop off videos they've produced or maybe held in 5 other events, then use us for self-promotion without investing anything themselves.
I agree.
Playing talks without a live person in the back also probably induce more people to go away than to stay. So the interaction part is what makes this different from watching YouTube.
Yeah,
If we don't have any interaction, and if we don't have the speakers available, then we could just set up a YouTube channel with a playlist and call it a day.
I have a practical question in terms of implementation. I agree with you, Shlomo, but my question is, how do we go about that when we don't know? We haven't asked of them this information in the CFP form. So we're going to be going to select CFPs blindly of whether they're available or not. We're going to realize whether they are available after their talk has been selected. So we'd have to go back to the drawing board.
Normally you select about 120% of talks compared to the available slots. And then you write to all the speakers, hey, your talk has been selected. Please reply to this mail by so-and-so in order to confirm your participation. And here are like 10 things that you need to agree to. And then we probably will have enough talks which will actually happen.
That I think that could be part of the form when they're like, congratulations, you've been accepted. Please fill out this form. And part of the form is a radio button. I understand that I need to be live. And if they don't click that button, or if they failed to, then, we have the answer from that
right away
standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. I think would be the best. I mean, because you're right. We can't retroactively go to the form and like put that, that option in. But the submit form can have it though. Like, I hereby understand that I need to be available for questions.
Mm-hmm.
What's important to understand is that we cannot tell 12 people your talk has been selected, but we actually only have 10 slots. So either we need to be specific and tell people you are on the wait list, but please confirm everything. And if somebody bails out, you'll be the first that we call upon. I think it's fair to tell 5 people that they are the first that we call upon.
I would say that not just like blindly sending out acceptance forms for too many talks. We'll keep a waiting list and then send out to X number, 20% more than we need, and see what happens.
Okay. So and again, this may not be a big issue if we don't get well, hopefully we get more, right, than what we have now, but we'll see. And maybe the voting will go fast because we don't have a lot currently.
Oh well, just a quick, because I got to drop soon.
Yeah, sure.
Just a quick count, because we are seeing that hockey stick happen. So we had 13 a couple of days back. We're at 23 right now.
Good.
So we had 10 over a couple of days. So we'll see what happens within the next kind of 24 hours. But we're getting enough to be able to
nice.
pick from. Okay.
Yeah, nice. And for the CFP people, we'll need to, hopefully we know to vote quick, or I mean, obviously not, don't do it just half-assed, but we give vote and give enough people time, give us enough time, give enough people enough time. So hopefully we can send out the email Wednesday instead of Friday, but however long it takes, but hopefully this will just like work out. So
yeah. Okay, cool. I gotta drop, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you all. All right.
Thanks, Leo.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess action items. Aubrey, you say you're going to work on the form. I can share that out in the working group if you want to, or if you want, you can hop on Slack, part of the working group. Let me know.
Okay.
And we can share out there for people to look at. I think there's no Rambly follow-ups there because we're just gonna do that ad hoc.
By the way, about the amount of people registering, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people who just tick all the complimentary additional events.
Yeah.
I also did that.
Yeah. and I'll go to the one. Yeah. I'll go to all of them.
Like, yeah. Better have than need kind of thinking. Mm-hmm. Because you can't sign up later. So I sign up now and then I can choose later.
Yeah. In terms of housekeeping sorry, Aubrey, did you want to say something?
sorry, I have one other really tactical thing on the CFPs. The Hopin platform only allows 160 characters for the summary of a session. I did have one of my peers who works with the platform suggested a one-off schedule building tool so that we can have these longer abstracts that people have already submitted through their CFPs. Do you guys have interest in me building that as a separate schedule so we can show complete abstracts for sessions versus just the title and 160 characters?
You mean like SCAD or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
would be lovely. I love SCAD.
Yeah, I don't have a preference. Like if I would much rather have the full the
abstracts.
Full abstracts from people, even if someone has to like click somewhere else to see it, right? We can have like a snippet.
Yep.
And then they can click somewhere else to go see it. I mean, I think that's fine. I think that's happened to me before. I think like I've clicked something and it takes me somewhere else. It's not for me. It's not a big deal. I don't have any strong feelings against it.
Okay. I'll do that then. I'll play with that this afternoon.
Okay. I was going to say for housekeeping, I had put notes on things that were discussed in the working group meetings notes doc. The very first note is linking out to the planning doc, but then as I was trying to add notes, I wasn't always sure where to put them.
Yeah.
and it's just, I mean, I think that's why this kind of note format is useful, because you can just kind of like dump what you need to. That said, I don't want to complicate things. So do you think, could anyone maybe help me figure out like how to kind of like add these back into the doc, or just maybe we keep them here? What do you all think?
I'm inclined just to keep it in this doc and just link it. Right.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Whatever helps. I just wanted to take some notes so that some of the stuff was captured. Because what was it, Christian? Human memory ops are failure prone.
Yeah, they're ephemeral, right? Just like pods. So
at least for me, it is. So that's why I added them. I'm happy to help put them somewhere. I don't want to add extra bureaucracy, but here they are. So
yeah. Well, as I see it, this is kind of like a committee within the larger group. So we not like a polluting. I hate using that word, but like I don't want to just dump like everything in one area, and someone else may not necessarily care about what we discuss. But totally. those who do can click and just see what we've done. So I'm just inclined to keep it here.
I'm super with you, Christian. Would you like to help bring the relevant bits of this into the main doc?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I understand bandwidth issues, so I'll help you out with it. Okay. Cool.
About the CFP review, who will send out an email to everybody that they should go and start filling in the reviews, and who will switch off the CFP form or replace it with a "sorry, you're too late" note?
I guess the CFP thing is just whoever created it. Was it you, Christian?
What I'm sorry, what's the question specifically? Are you specifically asking about emailing the people or the committee members themselves?
Somebody has to turn off submission on the CFP form. I guess that will be Leonardo.
That would be Leo.
And it would be nice to send out a note to all of us that we can start reviewing the entries, although we actually can already start now with the review, because those that had been submitted already won't change now.
Correct, yeah. So yeah, let me let's do that asynchronously. I'll do that. I'll send a note to Leo. Since he had to drop off, I will and I'll include it a little here. But yeah, so that notification will go out however that goes out. I think an email is fine to everyone.
Cool. I just assigned that to Leonardo.
Nice. There you go.
Since he had to drop, that's what you get.
That's what you get when you drop. That's right.
Although we are going a little over, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then I do have something I need to get to. So yeah, so I think that's all that's pressing for now. I think do we want to have another CFP meeting sometime next week? I mean, we have to meet at least once next week. Should we meet multiple times, or do you think just the once at the end is enough? I don't know what you think, Sean.
I expect us to need at least 2 hours to really decide upon the agenda.
So should we do a doodle then to see what? Right.
I think
yeah,
sure.
Way.
Could do that.
I mean, there isn't so much choice, right?
Well, yeah, it's we need to figure out a time to meet. We have to meet. It's just figure out a time.
Well, we already figured out that the slot is like between now and 3 hours from now, because that's the only time that everybody can make.
Yeah.
So it's only a question of which of those days we will meet on.
I think Tuesday would be fine because that gives us a few days or at least a few hours for us to review.
Okay, so since not everyone's on this call, should we make the doodle just with those limited time slots, as Shlomo suggested? And okay.
Yeah.
Just please keep in mind that the late slot that starts at 10 or 11 and then goes for 2 hours is a bit heavy on us Europeans.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe we can keep in mind that this is the KubeCon EU, so that kind of more the timing is more EU friendly.
I was actually up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. this morning because I was talking to one of our customers in Germany. So I'm used to getting up a little earlier. So that's I'm fine with it. We'll pick slots to try to make everyone happy.
Thank you.
So do you are you going to make the doodle, Christian? I'm not trying to dump everything on you.
Yeah. So let
you want.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to create. I'm actually trying to handle a few things at once here. Can you create? I can
create the doodle. But just can someone remind me right now, or actually Shlomo, can you remind me when are the slots exactly? Because I
in UTC preferably.
Yeah.
Well, I would say 6 UTC, 7 UTC, and 8 UTC. That's it. In the
UTC
evening.
7 and 8.
UTC 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Sounds good. I'll make it Monday through Thursday, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll need 2 meetings, or at least 1 meeting that really has time for 2 hours.
I'll make 1 hour I'll make 1 hour slots, and we'll say we need a total of 2 hours, either on one day or multiple days. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah. But this is for like the agenda work, I guess.
Yeah. And based on the expectation that everybody filled in the rating of the talks. So people have to find time to do their homework before that.
Christian, you're on mute.
But I mean,
you're still on mute.
On mute?
No, not you. Christian is on mute.
Sorry, I was like, I guess, yeah, the expectation of the, I guess the invite should say the expectation is you already have voted before we start. Like that's like the homework essentially before we start is you've already.
Yeah, that would kind of be like the last, like up until that point, and then it needs to be done. So I'll do it this weekend.
All right.
I don't have a life, so that's fine.
Sounds good. I'm like holding myself back from wanting to talk about the agenda. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. So well, okay.
The only thing I might want to mention to keep in mind beforehand is we had discussed before having a panel for the working group itself. The more I think about that, the more I think we really ought to do that. I know we said before, I'll save more of the discussion till then, but I know we said before it may depend on how many proposals we get, but I think it's really important for the community to be able to hear, at the very least, here's where we're at, here's what's been happening, and here's where we're going from here. You know, if we don't at least do that, then I think that we might not have the unity that we want. So
yeah,
I'll bring that to the.
Yeah, so we can discuss that right during the planning meeting, but yeah, I think it'll also be useful to have like a panel and have a representative, right, from all over, right, have a motley crew of people. I think that's definitely worth talking about.
Okay, I think I've definitely got to go at 1. How are we with? I made these notes. Thanks. Anything else burning?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll.
Yeah, as long as Leonardo, I guess, stops to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I pinged them on the Slack, so we can just always sync up on Slack asynchronously. So. Interesting. Cool.
Good. Time to make dinner then.
Yeah. Time for breakfast for me. So.
Time for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Bye, you all.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.